Hi and welcome to Teaching Everyday Cooking. My name is Eddie Cleal. Today we're going to look at pan frying fish. Often one of those things that lets us down. When we're frying fish in a pan, it falls apart, it gets overcooked, we get horrible soggy skin. So what we'll do, we'll look at some very simple basic techniques and see how we can make it work for us. So let's have a look straight at that and we'll get some fish in the pan for you. I've got two pieces of sea bass fillet, all trimmed, ready to go, scaled and ready to go in the pan. What we want to do first with any fish is we don't want the skin all wet. So just gently, just make sure that we don't have too much moisture on the skin. Don't be dragging any kitchen roll across. You don't want to be breaking the skin. We do want to keep that intact. So I've got two pieces, so I'm going to show you two ways of pan frying sea bass fillet without it sticking to the pan. The initial preparation is the same though. I've got a very sharp knife here, and what I want to do with this knife is I just want to score very, very gently just through that skin. Now the purpose of scoring through the skin is that when you put it into a hot pan, the skin will shrink. And of course, the first thing that does, it curls the fish up. And then without the skin then touching the pan nicely, you're not going to get a nice crispy skin. Plus you get a very a curled up piece of fish. The second reason is that if you do put any seasoning or flavours or anything into the fish, what it does allow is that the seasoning will get through the skin and penetrate into the flesh to give you a bit better flavour. Right, so as you can see, I've scored very carefully through. I haven't gone all the way through the fish, okay, just slightly into it, okay. Now, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to move the fish away, is I'm going to use flour on one of the fillets. So with the flour, I've got a plate here, it's simply plain flour here. I'm going to season it really nicely. I've got some sea salt flakes and some cracked black pepper. So, I mean, certainly this is the time when you can put any sort of other flavouring you want onto it. Now, got my fish, dabbing it into the flour. Now, we do want a very delicate coating of flour. So, we put it on and then we want to pat it all off again. We don't want any thick bits of flour on there. Okay, so that's that done. Move that away. Bring that back. Okay, so what I'm going to show you in a second is actually putting the fish into the pan. Now for the other piece of fish, what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to cook it on top of a piece of parchment, a piece of baking paper. So that creates our barrier between the pan and the fish. It still allows us to cook the fish, get a crispy skin, and it does stop the fish from sticking to our pan. And that's essentially the same thing that we've done with the flour. It just creates just a little film to stop the fish sticking to the pan. I'm going to show you two pans so you can sort of appreciate the difference of what's a good pan and what a different pan is. So that's the simple preparation of the fish. What we're going to move to next is cooking the fish in the pan. Okay, so we're going to start cooking the fish now. I've already got one pan set up. Now I'm using one of my catering pans, and if you can see, this has seen better days really. I mean, this is fried quite a few things in its time, and the nice coating that it had, you know, it's pretty battered. And if I put a piece of fish without any flour protecting or any of the parchment down, it's going to stick. Now the ideal type of pan I've got is another pan here. I'm not going to cook with it, but just to show you, I mean, this is just from my house kitchen. It's just your standard domestic frying pan, Tefal coating. You know, if I put anything in that, nothing's going to really stick to that. It should just go in and go out even without any flouring. However, I would always be cautious, and I'd always coat any fish with a bit of flour just to make absolutely sure that beautiful piece of fish I've just got is going to come out really delicious. So, but like I say, just showing you that very quickly, just to say, you've got a lovely pan, fantastic, but I'm going to show you this gnarled old pan. Now, first things we're going to do, I'm going to get some oil in. So this is just olive oil. You don't want extra virgin olive oil, as that is going to be far too strong. Now this has already been on the heat. Okay, so that's ready to go. We don't want it fiercely hot, but we do want a nice heat. Piece of parchment for my one piece of fish. Now you've got to make sure, it's stating the obvious, got to make sure that the parchment is as big as the fish, okay? We don't want the fish to miss. Right, so I'm putting that down straight away. Okay, and now I'm just going to do some oil over. Looks like a lot of oil, I know, but I'm cooking 2 pieces of fish at once as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I've got my piece of fish which has not got any flour on, and it's not been seasoned yet either, so just a little bit of salt, just a little bit of black pepper, and down it goes, nice and gently. So you can already see that it's shrinking up. Now you can just hold on to it a little bit, and you'll feel it bubble up. But it does help just to help keep it down at that first start, because what you're going to do is make sure that the skin is going to cook evenly. Now I'll put the other piece of fish that's got the flour on. What I'm going to do as well, I am going to get some butter in here as well straight away. The butter, it just enhances the flavour. Okay, we will skip forward it in a second. This is just showing the start process. You don't want to necessarily see fish cooking for the next 3 or 4 minutes just like this. So I'm going to fast forward the video just so you can really see the end result. So the fish is very nearly done. So the skin now, I'm going to flip one over. So we should be able to see a really lovely, really beautiful skin. So that would be just delicious. Do the other one. So again, just lovely and ready to go. So let's get those out the pan. Two lovely pieces of fish, so they've not fallen apart. Nice crispy skin. One with the flour, one without. And one reason for not using flour, of course, is if you're gluten free. Maybe you just don't have any. But you've got 2 lovely pieces of fish, cooked, ready to go. That will sit very nicely just for a couple of minutes, ready to put on the plate and serve. So I hope this has helped. Really good luck with the cooking of this. Again, as always, would really love to see if you've got any pictures, any results. Let's actually see that these techniques are working for you. So enjoy, and I very much look forward to showing you something else on Teaching Everyday Cooking. Thanks for now.